Good evening, welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online, and this is going to be our third match in today's triple header in this 10 ball Masters tournament, and it's a round 3 match between Mooncake and Sergeresh, race to 14, and the room should be going up within the next 30 seconds. We should be streaming live to Twitch, Facebook and YouTube, and both of these players, I haven't seen them at all. And both players are here, at least they were a minute ago when I checked. Well, any second now we should be good to go. They will lag for break. It's winner breaks, and it's a called shot game. All banks and combos should be called, and there are no jump queues, 60-second shot clock and a 60-second extension. Well, I've had something to eat now, and just had a coffee, but the effects of eating will also come over me in about 15 minutes time as well. Right, well, I see 2 balls ready for the lag, but I don't see any queues. That's a bit worrying. Yeah, I'm in. As soon as I'm in, I'm good to go. Good evening, welcome back. I don't know what's up here. I didn't see that queue. I've now seen one and then it's disappeared. Now the first thing to clarify is that Sergeresh, according to that, is from Belarus, and Mooncake from the Netherlands, and I have no idea what level these guys play at this game, but we'll soon find out. So this is our third triple header during this tournament alone. So we've had a fair few matches, but none more impressive than Acero earlier on this afternoon against Larry. If you missed that match, it's probably worth watching. It will be up on my YouTube channel. Well, that 10 ball's going to be close to the pocket. So Mooncake can see the one. Well, he's going to stall at the 4 ball because it doesn't go from where it's sitting, at least not from where I'm looking. No. And the 3 isn't exactly set perfect for a combo, but if you can check the cue ball and get it right onto the rail, it's your best chance of trying to make it. Well, I would have thought from where the 4 ball is, it was probably worth trying to get the cue ball right onto this end rail here. You got the cue ball there, you could easily push the 3 to make the 10. So I think that's a chance missed there. Now he's got to try and get a breakout here, and disaster to follow. The scratch in the middle pocket, ball in hand for a 4-10 combo if the 4 will go past the 7. Well, Sergeresh, I'm afraid you need to cut out this Mr. Nice Guy stuff, because hanging up the 4 like that is not a wise move. So there's the first big blunder, and Sergeresh, if you're ever going to take any advice, in a big tournament. It's no more Mr. Nice Guy. You might do that in a challenge room, because obviously the objective in a challenge room is to try and run the table, but I mean, when you've got ball in hand and the 4 ball onto the 10, then you play it. So he needs to get a tournament face on straight away, because that's just gifted Mooncake the first rack. And maybe Sergeresh thinks that's the way we play it in every tournament. Well, he needs to get wise to that. Most certainly. So it's 1-0, and a wide open 4-10 combo for the first rack, and Sergeresh turns it down. And that's probably going to be the one and only time we see that in this tournament. Well, I'm predicting that Sergeresh will live to regret doing that, because when he had ball in hand and he couldn't pot the 4, I mean, that's just a cardinal sin if ever there was one. You know, if you're not going to play the combo, and it wasn't a difficult combo, and you're going to try and run the table and you can't get the first part of the equation done, then it's a major fail. The other thing is why Mooncake didn't try to drop right onto the rail. He could have done it with inside English, I don't know why, and he could have tried to make the 3-10 combo. So a wee bit weird, a couple of the shot choices from my point of view, and that remains to be seen as to what's going to happen in the rest of the match. So Sergeresh has called the 4. Is he going to try and jump? Well, here we go. The attempted jump shot, and well, that didn't work out. But he needs to talk to Yama. So Mooncake with ball in hand. Well, that's white to its feet. Well, everybody would have shot everybody in a tournament like this would shoot a 4-10 combo with ball in hand. And then what does he do after it though? That was even more unforgivable. He can't roll a 4 ball into the corner pocket from ball in hand. Major failing. But you've got to go for the combos when you've got the chance, because the one thing's for certain, your opponent's going to do it. And wouldn't it be funny if Sergeresh get pissed off when and if Mooncake gets a chance with ball in hand to play a combo and he does it? I mean, that would be funny. Well, looks like across the table twice. Oh, he's managed to hold it. So, very quickly, it's 2-0. We haven't seen anything so far of the capabilities of Sergeresh, but judging by that missing the 4, I don't have a lot of hope for him. So dry break from Mooncake. So is Sergeresh going to be able to? Well, he can run into the 4 here. and ride his luck, but couldn't get the cut in the one. Well, the one ball has been called, and that'll be a missed call, and now Sergeresh can play from there or put Mooncake back in. Well, that's not a bad result. Certainly not easy to get to the one, and probably better to push the 4 ball towards the 2 and just give Sergeresh ball in hand, try and lock up those 2 balls. Well, now we're going to see just what sort of level Sergeresh is going to be playing at. He has ball in hand, and he's going to have to get a bit of spin on this to get the cue ball out to the right, and he's missed the 2, so I think he's going to, well, it's early on, but he's certainly going to have to pick his game up if he's going to get anything. And once again, from ball in hand, he's only managed to pot 1 ball, which is never a good sign. Turn the background off to see what it's like. The background off then means it's black. I mean, I'll turn it off, but it's gone back on. In fact, where the hell do you do that? I don't even know where to do it because I've never done it. Is it under miscellaneous? I bet it's under miscellaneous. No, I don't even know. Oh, there it is, right, background on, right, background off. I've never done this in VP4. Oh, that's depressing looking. No, sod that for a game of soldiers. It's gone back on straight away. That's miserable looking. What's anybody going to think when they look at that? Well, it's going to be 3-0, and I'm going to say it now, it doesn't look good here for Sergeresh to get a rack. Not from what we've seen so far. 2 opportunities with ball in hand, and 1 failed with a straight in 4. Second one potted a 1 ball, failed in the second ball. Not good signs, I'm afraid. Well, maybe he's a bit nervous. I mean, this business of knowing that you're streaming live and there's 8 people watching you around the world can really be making you nervous. But the break is dry. Now Sergeresh has a good chance to get a safety here. Now once again, this is a thing I talk about as to whether a player, see, this is him going the shaft tracks route, going for a ball that's of no real value to him because he can't get to the 2. The best he would have got would have been the 2-7 combo, but he's found himself hooked and got himself in more trouble. So players who play one-dimensionally are not going to progress very far. You've got to use all the aspects and the lay of the table to your advantage. You've got to see the safety, and you've got to weigh up the pros and cons of the value of potting a ball. Now, the best he was going to get was a cut in the 2 to make a 7 combo, and now he's in a whole heap of trouble. And he ain't getting to the 2 from that angle. Well, I'll say this for you, semi-pro. From what I've seen so far, you've been extremely generous. Very generous with that scoreline. I think if Sergeresh can get 3 racks out of this, he'll be doing well. From what I have seen so far, there's been nothing that I've seen here to impress me or to lead me to believe that he's going to get himself into this match. Well, it's going to be the billiard on to the 8 from this 4 ball. Well, somebody tell him to get a lot better then, because he's been pretty poor. Now what's Mooncake typing no for? What was that all about? Did I miss that? Right, billiard on to the 8 and a 5. Well, just a push through and stick Sergeresh on the 10 ball. Well, again, he could have been tighter. I think the 6 ball's a bit in the way. Yeah, the line he was taking looked straight into the pocket, so this is going to be 4-0. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to the latecomers. Welcome back if you were here earlier on. And I personally think this is going to be a bit of a bloodbath. Well, this is not a definite, this 10 ball. These are tricky. And in it goes. So 4-0. Five ball goes in. And can't get to the 1 to make any pot out of it, but looking for a extremely thin edge, and that's why he's missed it. He was just trying to brush it and keep the distance. So once again, this is the third time in this match already that Sergeresh has had ball in hand. Now he's got a 110 over the middle pocket. Surely to goodness he's going to play it. Well, that's 2 people. That's a record for Facebook. We've had 2 people on Facebook. We've had Rob and Kirby's on. Welcome aboard. So lo and behold, Sergeresh decided to take the combo in the 10 and he's got a rack in the board. It's amazing what happens when you do things like that. I mean, why didn't do it the first chance he had with that 4-10 is beyond me. I don't even think he looked. Did he not think the 4 would go past to the 10? Did he not look close enough? We'll never know. So we have a problem with the 9 ball. It's a bit out of the game behind the 10 ball there, but well, there's an easy safety off it if you don't get good on it, if you end up in the corner, but let's be honest, it ain't going anywhere there. And we've got the 3 ball on the side rail, the safety exchange going on, so there's a chance to push the 1 onto the 3 there, but he actually got that wrong, Sergeresh. He should have been pushing that to the 1, using it as a stop, the 3, and using it as a stopper, but bringing the 3 into play and getting the cue ball back over the far side. Mooncake having a look at the 9, but he now knows nothing's going to happen there. Well, Steve's been in, had a look, and he's seen enough. That's him gone. Now here would be the chance to try and break them out and still have a shot in the 5. There are times when you need to take a risk, and this would be it. Let's have a look and see how that looks from his end. Well, I would be putting a fair bit of left-hand English on it to try and make sure that if it hit the rail it would chip something, but I don't know whether the angle's ideal for that. To actually pot it and keep that cube, no, it was definitely not. Even if you had English on it, it would make no difference. It was never going to get there, so well, it's going to be a hard push to do it from this end of the table, having to pot the 5. So the chances are he could be blocked out in this 9. And that's what's going to happen. Or is it? He can certainly see it. If he can just drop through, that's about the best line he's going to get to this 9, and he can certainly push for the little safety behind the 10 like I talked about earlier on. Well, I'm thinking I'm 4 shots ahead of him. Got to have the angle if it is his last chance to break this out. Well, here goes. That'll do it. A little double kiss has done him a favour. Now this requires a shot that that Acero played earlier on today, the little soft draggy shot just to get there, and that was well played as well. Just enough pace to get the ball to the hole and not let the cue ball escape, and it's 5-1. Yeah, as I say, I think if Sergeresh can get 3 racks in this match, I think that'll be about the best he can expect. Well, there's a scratch straight away in the break. Ball in hand. There's a 1 and a far-fetched 10 ball combo possibility. playing across the table. If he can draw up to the 9 ball, there's a possible 2-10 combo. Well, he's just going to roll the 2 in the middle. Well, now that he's made that decision, he's going to have to impress me by running this table. And also to give himself any chance of getting back into this match. Well, the first thing I would want him to do is slow down a bit. Now, got to get up the table. Well, this is a little tester for him. The 7 ball is awkward, but you can certainly avoid going near the 8 and 10. Well, he's dragged into it. Well, this is, if you can see the 7, good luck to him, because he's certainly going to be in the 8. And it goes. Oh, he's dead straight. But all he needs to do is just roll this and not go behind the 10. Well, he stunned it, but he's still got the cut. Well, has he suddenly woke up? This is a bit more impressive than what we've seen so far. And he's actually potted half a dozen balls and got himself his 2nd rack in the board. Well, everything in, including the cue ball. So that's a bit of a disaster. So ball in hand for Mooncake. 1 ball into the middle or into the corner, wherever. 2 ball, 3-6 combo. And the 3 will sit next to the 7 if he plays it gentle enough. And then the worry is the 4 ball. Now, the question is whether he thumps this and hopes he stays in the 3, or whether he just plays it gentle to keep the 3 ball there, but try and do something. Well, he's got an angle. Now let's have a look at this from here. Well, I think he can just, is he going to cut it and come across, or? Because he can't cut it and pot it, I don't think, and move the 4. Well, I think he's tried everything to do it, but, well, it's off the rail. So, a thin chip, but he's going to have to hit this 7 ball on an edge. Well, he's missed that by missing the cut, and he's got it safe, because the one thing for sure was he was going to be in the bottom side of the table. Had he got that cut right, he would have ran into the 7 and he probably wouldn't have been able to see the 5. Well, that wasn't a bad safety, but the 4 ball is on. Not easy. That's a good shot. At least you're looking at the 5 and you can see it's got a pocket to go in. And just, well, whatever you do, make sure you're hitting it hard enough to brush off the 8 or skim past the 8, one of the 2. Looks as if he's killing it. Yeah. should be no problem. So that mini revival, winning that second rack there for Sergeresh, has been ended abruptly, and Mooncake back to a 4 rack lead, 6-2, and a 2 ball in on the break. Awkward shot in the 1. Well, you see, with this shot it's worthwhile going for the pot, because that's a big pocket up in the top right hand corner. You can certainly use the, what is it, that's you can use the 3 ball by hitting the 1 ball into the rail. It's bound to go in. I mean, it'd be a real shocker if it didn't go in. Well, there's a shocker. It's managed to end up hanging over the edge. That's a surprise. Well, here we go again. Sergeresh with a wide open table. Is he going to impress me again? Now he's playing with the inside, so he knows what he's doing as far as that goes. Check to cue ball to come back into the right. But I think he's just playing a bit too quick, but maybe he's more comfortable doing that. He seemed to faff around the first couple of racks. But if it works for him, then fair enough. Well, this is the one that's going to test him, because he's got to get back for the 7, and that was a perfect execution of a shot that a lot of players can't get right, where it's just below the equator. It's not a draw, it's a stun with enough power that the reverse does take, but it's only a little softish drawback, and that was executed perfectly. That's why I call it the stun draw, where you're not actually physically trying to draw the ball, you're just getting it just a tad below the equator with that power in the shot to get that reaction. It's not easy to play if you don't play them a lot, but it's certainly a shot that can make position a lot more guaranteed on certain shots, particularly that one, because a lot of players tend to overdraw it. But it's a good rack for Sergeresh. He's definitely warming up. It could be a big turnaround. He's back to 6-3. Good evening, Linus. I see your match is arranged during the week. Is that Wednesday or Thursday? I'm trying to remember what day it is. I'd need to look at the bracket again. I think you've arranged your match. I can't remember what day of the week it is. If it's Wednesday, I'll have a look after this one's finished. Well, that's what I keep saying, semi-pro. If your break isn't working, then change something. Don't keep doing the same thing if it ain't working. Move it around, change it up. This is why you've just got to be on your toes and thinking all the time, well, if that's not working for me, let's try something different. But Mooncake's got himself ball in hand. This is not going to be easy to run. Got 3 balls all on the left hand rail, 6 ball over the left middle, but that isn't a problem. The problem's what's to follow afterwards and getting on them. that wasn't the best of shots. Well, I think the other thing is, I mean, the table is not easy to run out. Something needs to happen on this left hand side here. We can take the 6 ball out of the equation, that's not the problem. The problem's the 8 ball for a start, and then of course the 9 and the 10. I mean, the 9 looks fine as long as you're out in the table to the right, you can cut it, but you've got to get there. Well, this is going to have to be a good shot as well in this 3. Oh, and it's, well, what does he do? That looks a lot more difficult to do anything with this 4 ball. I mean, you could call the 4 into the middle pocket and just hit it hard enough to get onto the 6 and try and get the billiard off the 6 into the pocket. Cue ball's going to be going right into the 7, and well, he certainly should be able to see the 5. Whether he'll be in a good shape to pot it, I don't know, but he's not. I don't think he's even looked at the 6. No, I'm sorry, I'd be cutting that 4 to the 6. It's a big pocket again. If you get the line right, you've got a fair chance of it going in. But he's called the safety, and that's not bad. Well, the attempted pot, not an easy pot. Nothing called so far, so difficult to get a safety with those line of balls in the side cushion. You've not got much room to manoeuvre, and as long as those balls remain there, then it's just difficult to get this run out. So Sergeresh is still in the rack, and of course when you go and bash at a ball and you miss a ball, what you don't want to do is run that ball into any of those balls on the side rail and bring them into play for your opponent, so you've got to be careful. Welcome to all the latecomers. Now, at the end of this stream, somebody's got to remind me to go to Twitch and have a look right through all my settings in Twitch to see if there's any mention of a timeout on people being able to chat in the stream. Whether it's something they've set and I can't change it, or it's something that is there and I've just not noticed it, because I meant to look at it the other day and I totally bloody forgot. Right, well, we're now in the situation we spoke about, I spoke about. We've got the 6 ball hanging, that's not the issue. We can pot the 7, and we can do nothing with the 8 ball. Well, this is going to end up really bad, and it's a chance, unless Mooncake does the right thing and pushes that 10 ball right up to the 8, because that then means it's leaving Sergeresh with ball in hand but with no shot. That's what he should be doing. Now, is he going to get there? No, it's ball in hand. Now he can pot the 8, And he needs to get, I mean, even if he draws back, all he's going to do is push the 10 out of the way. Well, he's leaving an angle to get out. He's managed to pot it. Well, here's the toughie. Now, he needs to play this with top and left to punch it around. Well, he's played it square, but he's got there. That'll do. Not the way I would have played it. I like to get myself out into the table, but this'll do. Well, he's a different player now. He seems to be potting the confidence. He's definitely playing too quick for me. But in the speed that he's played, he's got himself back to, what is it now, 6-4? So, the push out, and Mooncake has been left a shot in the one. Again, when you're playing the push out, you've got to get a better push out than this. I mean, everything's on here, and that there was not a good choice of shot. I mean, pot the one, come around the angles, you've got to be on the 2, the 3's on. If you get the angle in the 3, you can drop across for the 4. This rack is there for the taking. And it's another thing I talk about, people, you know, when you've got a push out, the first thing you do is have a good look at the table and get an idea in your head of where this ball's going to go, where the worst that can happen is you're going to be put back in. You don't want to leave your opponent a start. You might want to leave them a tempter that's difficult, but you don't want to give them a start with the balls wide open. And that's all that Sergeresh did there. So now, you said usually has a good head on him. Well, he needs to get a good head on him for push outs, because that was the worst. That was a perfect example of a poor push out. Well, he's got a lifeline, because I don't think that Mooncake can see the 6. Nope. And he can just skim past the 10, and that will give him the angle to get to the 6. He's bound to hit it. He's called the corner pocket, but it's really just a hit and hope. Now, if he gets lucky, it could rattle in the jaws and run along towards the 8 ball. But he would need to hit it a bit harder than that. Well, he's got it hit. It's went along to the 8 ball, and it's safe. That'll do. I don't think there's enough room to stun the 6 and get the cue ball in behind the 8. There's not enough room. But once again, that isn't bad. Now, well, but poor positional choice when you're playing a push out. That's the best way to describe it. Well, he nearly got the kick. Now, has he left Sergeresh a chance? Yes, he has. Well, what's Sergeresh going to do here, because he's got no shot in the 8. But there is a push through for a safety on that 8 ball. He's going up and down the table. Is he going to hook himself? It looks like it. It needs to bounce big. If he kicks from the short rail, he needs to get it full in the face and get lucky. Push that 8 up the table. Now he's playing this with top. I was going to say that he was. Did he call that? No, he hasn't called it. What happened here, guys? Wait a minute, what have I missed? Did he call that? Am I not paying attention? What happened here? Tell me he called that. Well, it's not for me to say, but well, I'm not getting involved. That's not for me to get involved. But I'm surprised that Sergeresh hasn't said anything. But I never saw him call a pocket. He called a safety, did he? Right, I never noticed that either. See, I'm too busy looking at the chat, and I never looked at the HUD. Anyway, it's 7-4 to Mooncake. Well, that's the bit that I'm trying to work out in my head where we stand here. Why is he carrying on? That's the other thing. That is a good point. I'm desperate to type something, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to interfere. But that's got me puzzled. That's why I'm totally befuddled and confused. Now, again, it has to be said, if Sergeresh was on the ball, he would have jumped straight onto that. Serg was shooting. Am I out of sync here? Right, let me read this. Called a safety and fluked to 8. What Sergeresh did. But Mooncake won the rack. Sergeresh isn't the one who called a safety, right? So who kicked at the, what ball was it? Was it the 7 ball or the 8 ball? I can't remember. Right, I've lost the will to live now. Anyway, it's 7-5. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to watch this back. I'm going to have to watch it when it's ready on Twitch as soon as the match is over, just to get my head clear. Now, what rack was that? That was it was 7-4 at the time, right? So I'll fast forward it through to that at the end of this match, because I can do that in Twitch. It takes a while for YouTube to process the video. Twitch, you can watch it played back immediately, so I'll do that as soon as this is over, as well as look at where this chat thing is. No, it was 7-4 because oh right, now that's got me even more confused. Right, I'll look at it at like 5-5 or something, whatever the bloody score was. Well, if you felt that your opponent has you know, not miscalled a shot that he didn't call in the first place, then you would jump straight onto it. Serg shot the 8 and it was a miscall, but I never saw him call it. That's what I'm getting at. I never saw it. But again, I can't swear that he didn't because I was too busy reading the chat. But it does, I mean, at the present position, Sergeresh is in this match, and I'll tell you, it's a whole lot different from what I thought it was going to end up from the early stages. Right, so that's a foul. I've looked at the HUD. It's ball in hand to Mooncake, and all the balls are on. Now, that's going to be dead. Serge called a safety, fluke to 8. Well, that's fine. If that's what happened, then there isn't any problem at all. No, what Rob said there is more likely what's happened. That Serge called a safety and he fluked to 8, which is perfectly fine. That isn't a problem. It just means that if that's what happened, then I'm happy. Because that's more likely to be the way it happened. Calling a safety means that if you inadvertently pot a ball, then you've still played, as long as you've played a legal shot in the ball on, or whatever, then it just means your opponent comes to the table and he's still got the same shot option. He can play, or he can put no, wait a minute, that's a miscall. What happens in that? What happens in that situation? Does the other player's forced to play, or can he can't put the opponent back in though in 10 ball, can he? It's only in a miscall. So now that's where I'm confused. A miscall and a safety with a ball going in, does it give your opponent the option to have to play, or can he pass it back? I mean, I don't play 10 ball at all. I think you could count the amount of games I've played, but I don't know about that situation. So it's the same as a miscall, right? So in that case, then, if the table was ugly, you could just put your opponent back in. Right, well, Sergeresh, if he can get this 8. Oh, it's wiped its feet, it's gone in. How's his luck? Well, he's got a tough 8. Now, does he go for the bank, or does he go for the pot? I think the pot is the one. And it goes, he's on the 10, and all of a sudden we've got a match. Now, don't do the numpty shot and follow the 10 in, whatever you do. And he's back to within 1. And a ball in the break. And, well, for a minute there he had a shot in the 1, but the 6 has blocked it, and so has the, what is that, the 9. So, well, if he plays it again, is he looking to play a push out here? Because if he is, he needs to just get down the bottom of the table. In 10 ball, you can call a safety and shoot the lowest straight in. Then you lose the visit. What does that say? Then you lose visit at the table. In 10 ball, you can call a safety and shoot the lowest. Aye, but right, you call a safety, you shoot the ball on. No, you have to still shoot the ball on, calling a safety, because that's the way the game is. So you're shooting the ball on, and that ball on hits another ball, or your cue ball runs into another ball, and you pot another ball. Does the incoming player have to play, or can he pass it back? That's my question. If you call a safety, you're basically passing it back to your opponent. But what if the right, aye, that's not my question though. If you're calling a safety, you are passing it back to your opponent, but if you call a safety and you pot a ball but the table's ugly, the safety, aye, no, I get it now, right, I've grasped it now. Right, I think I've grasped it now. Because I suppose the whole object is, if you play it safe, you could be deliberately making it ugly. You fluke a ball, nothing happens, you play on. That's right. I think I've got it now. I'd confused myself with with the whole situation to start with. I better have a drink. I think it's lack of bodily fluids that's causing this, and rather than me falling asleep. So a rail not hit. So Mooncake hides up in the corner. Again, I don't think the angle's there to get to that. Now, if he leaves it as it is, it's going to be the same shot for Mooncake. So what I would do is I would well, that's not bad. It's not a bad outcome. I mean, it sacrifices ball in hand, but the 5 and the 10 are safe. Well, I think he tried to get across. Has he got an angle? Has he got the line? I don't know whether he can. He's maybe got too much. Yeah, he's just trying to push it to safety. That'll do it. Calling a safety, if you look at your keyboard and you look at the left control button, and if you look at your enter button on your keyboard, to the left of that there are the square type brackets. I think it's the right one that you use with the left control to call a safety in VP4. It's either one of them, put it that way. If it doesn't work with the first one, it'll work with the one next to it. So left control, and then where it says enter in your keyboard, just to the left of that should be those 2 square bracket symbols, and I think it's the right one of them that you use, and that will bring up safety. That's a scratch. But Mooncake, now with ball in hand, can line up the 5-10 combo for a quick result to this rack. Oh, he's left it hanging, but the 5 squirted away. Yeah, it's that one. It's a square one. Aye. If you hit the shift button, that then gives you that funny squiggly one, but the control and the square one is the one that gives you the missed call. Now, what do you do here, Sergeresh? Well, what you do is you don't put the 5 into play. You go thin off it and call the 10 and put a bit of spin on it to try and come around the angles and down like a cowboy shot to scratch for the win. Well, at least he's put it over to the left side, but he's going to leave the pot, albeit hampered over the 9. I would have played the thin off the 5 and called the 10, but still have been playing a safety, so to speak. And if the 10 goes in, you've won a watch. Well, it's now going to be an easy finish for Mooncake here. Just kill the cue ball, 7 onto the 10, rack over. Well, Sergeresh had got himself back into the game, but it's going to be a 2 rack gap now. Oh dear, the yawns are starting again, guys. That's after having my dinner, that's what happens. Need 2 minute break. Right, I didn't even notice that. Right, the little interlude. Now, what was I going to do? Let's have a look. So that's tonight's match. This is what, the 13th. Few days away for the set. Oh, I was going to check the Linus one. If Linus told me, I never saw it in the chat, but I'm sure he's got a match arranged. Where the hell is he? Because that's a match where I haven't seen either of the two players. That one there with Sergeresh and Linus. Right, what day is the 16th? It's 7 PM my time. This is the 13th, so Monday the 14th, Wednesday the 16th, so I'll have that match on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock between those two. And then Mark Sharp Interchange X. Senny's still waiting on someone. Larry's now waiting on someone. Well, what else have we got? Another match in a couple of days' time. Snake Eyes and Sargo. Right, that's me up to date. Well, we're all good to go again. And Mooncake breaking off in rack number 15, I think it is. Break is dry. Sergeresh will try to squeeze the one past the 8. Now, what's he got here? Not a lot, to be honest with you. If he just misses the 5, the 2 may well go in off the 8, but that is tight. Oh, when you look at closer there, it will go, but he's calling the 8. Well, full credit to him, he got it, but no shot in the 2. Well, I'd be going thin off the 2, left side rail, right side rail, and up to that bunch of balls up there. That's not bad. Could have done with getting behind them, but it's not a bad shot. I mean, there is a bank on, but virtually no chance of getting on the 3. I don't think Wink at Me's been in tonight. I can't remember whether he's been on today. Now, what's he called here? Trying a billiard onto the 10. A big slam here with the amp on. Need to get the amp on and get this right. Slap bang. Yep. That's going to end up not too bad. Not too bad considering there's nothing easy plus the 3 balls where it is, so. Well, he's got the 2, but he's it was always doomed to failure here unless he can get a billiard onto the 4. That looks like the favourite. Call the 4 into the corner. Now, is he still in play? Yes, he is. Well, now things are beginning to shape up here. Now, he doesn't want to let this run, and he doesn't want to end up straight. And what's he done? Ended up pretty straight. And now his shot choices are limited here, and he hasn't got into it enough. Well, this will go, but I tend to play these shots. If you try and play them plain ball, it usually doesn't go, but if you try and play it with a wee bit of right, you've just got to get it right on the nail. That will usually help it into the pocket. But well, it's not bad, but it's a straight in long combo. This will be a good shot. Not easy at that distance. Oh, he's nailed it. Absolutely spot on. And now the gap has gone to 3, so from getting it back to 1, Mooncake's pulling away again, and a ball in the break as well, but no shot in the 1. What's he on the bank? Aye, that's not a good bank. Yeah, it was just too narrow an angle to try and work with to get that as a bank. But he's left Sergeresh a chance in the 1, and he just needs to keep the cue ball somewhere in the middle of the table if he can. Right, back out will do. That's nice. Now, looking at the angle in the 2, just roll straight through and run into the 7. Well, am I seeing things here? Where's the 4 ball? I forgot about the 4 ball. I knew I'd missed something. I am all over the place here. Well, he's got the kick. The end result isn't good, and it's another good chance for Mooncake. And really the biggest issue is straight away is just getting on the 5. The rest will all fall into place. Oh, that 8 ball, that's undone him there, and it's a lifeline for Sergeresh. It's his only hope. Please help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, or our only hope. Was that not what Princess Leia says from R2-D2, the little projection? I think you'll find him right. Yeah, that was a toughie. Oh, another tester for Sergeresh. Vital that he gets it, and well, he's done well, and the pace is good. He'll be on the 6. Now, can he take it out? Oh, slow down. Oh, short again. And you know what I say, sooner or later you'll run out of shots. Yeah. Well, what about this? I thought it had enough pace to run the 10 ball into the 8, but his chance is gone. Well, I never saw the F1 Grand Prix today because obviously I was doing this, but by what I've read in the teletext, it was a bit of a stramash, as they say in Scotland. About 6 cars out even before the first lap was finished. 2 red flags during the race, and Hamilton still won. Well, that was like a break from a house cue, that one. So it's now 10-6 to Mooncake. I mean, I don't know why a lot of people don't like Hamilton, but then again, there's not many people like Michael Schumacher. There's not. I mean, what's the name of the French guy that won all the Grand Prix back in the early 80s? No, nobody liked him either. What was his name again? I can't remember. No, not him. We're talking about a guy that won loads of Grand Prix, by the way. What was the hell his name? That'll bug me the rest of the night now to get his name. Oh God. It's so frustrating trying to remember people's names. He's French. Alain Prost, that's the one. No, Alain Prost, him. Nobody liked him. When you've got to remember the speed that these cars drive at, the lines that these guys have got to take. I don't care how good the car is, you've got to get it round the bloody circuit, and you have to be technically excellent to drive these things. He's now heading. What is he not tied Schumacher's record yet? Well, it is a chance for Sergeresh. Not easy from this position. Needs a break here though, and he hasn't got it. And it's another rack that could slip away here. Watch the scratch in the middle pocket if he's going to thump this. When you think about it as well, Hamilton's the perfect build for a Formula 1 driver. I mean, he can't be any more than, what, 5'8" if he is. He must be about 5 stone wet through. He's the perfect build. I mean, that was a difficult shot, that 8 ball. But yeah, I don't think there's been any more perfect build for a Formula 1 driver. Well, Mooncake pulling away. Who predicted the score? What did you say, Semi? Did you say 14-8? That's still not out of the equation, that call. Nine ball going in. No, it's not, but something went into the middle. What went? The 4 ball. And no shot in the 1. Well, I would play the push and push that 8 and 9 in out of the way and just leave the cue ball down there, because it's difficult to get away from the 1. Yeah, not a bad call. The other thing is, if he plays, let's have a look. Yeah, if he tries to spin off that way to get around here, he's just going to bring things into play. So did he call he's push? No, he's passed it back. That's what he's done. Oh, did Semi say 14-12, did he? Is he telling porkies, is he? Oh dear. Dear oh dear. Well, the first part of the shot was perfect, sticking it in between the two balls, but the spin that he had in the cue ball just brought everything into play. But can Sergeresh take... Right, this is it, he's got to take it out. Well, I did say that, and at that point we'd seen nothing from Sergeresh, let's admit it. Nothing but bad things and bad vibes was I getting watching him early on. But this is as good a chance as he's going to get in this rack. Now, that is a tight space there on that 7 ball. He's got to be careful. And, well, I would have to play it in off the 8. Dangerous to try and play it directly. Well, he's got it. Give him his dues, he's got it clean as well. My eyes are that bad, I would have had to hit that into the rail and hit it off the 8 to make sure it was going to go in. I couldn't rely on my eyes getting the line to the hole. Oh, there it goes. All the hard work done. And he's failed in the Cobra shot. Well, this is more than likely going to take Mooncake too far away at this stage in the match. So it's now 12-6, and that is maybe too far. So we've got a Potman shot and a Cobra shot now. Everybody knows what we're talking about. Safety called. Trying to hide in the corner, looks pretty good to me. It needs to slow up. Oh, it's just going to squirt out. That's better though. That's how to do it. But of course, having played the good safety and Mooncake maybe struggling to hit this one, the 2 ball and the 6 are still safe, so that's a lifeline for Mooncake. So he doesn't want to do anything that's going to bring that 2 and 6 into play, so just play a deliberate foul. That's all you do. Don't do anything that's going to move things. Well, that'll do. It gives ball in hand to Sergeresh, but it's up to him to make the move. Well, with ball in hand, you should be breaking that 2 ball out. There's absolutely no reason not to. And he seems to think he can get behind it to pot it. Let's have a look. Well, I think he's there. That's a good shot. That's excellent. Well, what? That was really no margin of error at all to get to that 2 ball. I think most of us would have went for a breakout. I would certainly not have tried to get there. I wouldn't have had confidence I could get the pace right. He got it nailed. Dead straight in the 6 though. Is he going to pinch a bit of right? Yeah. No, I didn't, because I didn't think he'd be trying to do it. I saw him looking at it and I thought, well, there's nothing on there. You see, when you're looking down the table at, well, where's the cue ball going? Don't tell me. Oh dear, what a disaster. As Arthur Montford used to say, disaster for Scotland, or in this case, where the hell's Sergeresh from? The Netherlands, is it? No, that's Mooncake. Where the hell's Sergeresh from again? Belarus. Oh, that is a disaster. Well, it's pretty much all over now, folks. 13-6, and from getting back to 7-6, Sergeresh is falling out the game big time. Started off a disaster and it's ending up a disaster. Cue ball. Oh. Well, this is a thin one. Up the table, down the table, should still be in the 3. Now, how many shots, how many times has Sergeresh had chances here and just faltered and failed one way or another, and all that Mooncake's doing is just again tidying up the mess. Well, the cue ball's all over the place now. It's going to have to be the bank on the 5. It's a good bank this time though. And that isn't a good bank. It's an extremely thin dead weight cut for the 6 if he's going to do that, but if he's calling a bank on it, it's not a bank. No, it's never going to bank. I mean, why do players try and convince himself that an angle like that on a 6 ball so narrow to the middle pocket is going to bank? I mean, the worst can happen is like that, a double kiss. That's a shot of desperation there. That's hoping to change the laws of physics, Captain, and it ain't going to happen. You can sit there all day banging balls trying to bank them, it's not going to go in. You've got to try and manipulate an angle, but where that was sitting, it wasn't on. And you only ever attempt shots like that out of desperation. Well, here we go again. Surely he's going to find a way out this time to stay in the match. Not from there, he isn't. Needs to give himself an angle. He's got an angle. Oh, another one to test the nerves. Dodgy cut in the 9. Get the pace right though. He'll be near enough the 10 ball, but can't get the 9. Now, was that Sergeresh's last shot? The 9 cuts. Cue ball running off the top rail, side rail. With the right pace, we should be on the 10. Good cut. And that is not too bad. So this to take Mooncake through to the next round. And it goes, well, basically it was 7-6 to Mooncake, and he's won 7 in a row to take the match out by 14 racks to 6. Well, that is our triple header over, guys, our 3rd one in the tournament, and that is me done for the night. I'm off to first of all check Twitch and see what the settings are for the chat, if any, and if there is, I'll change it if I can, and if not, then there's nothing I can do about it. But in the meantime, Thanks guys again for your company. If you've been here, thanks for being here all day. Well, the most impressive of the whole day, without a shadow of a doubt, was Acero. Very impressive, very solid, was meaning business. I'm just thinking, can he keep that up for the rest of the tournament? If he does, he's going to be a contender. Larry, well, we never really saw much of Larry, but once again, Larry's going to have to do it the hard way if he's going to stay in there. And there's a lot of heavy hitters, as I've said, moved over to that one loss side. Keith's one of them. He's lying in wait. Cobra's there. So it's a tough ask, and pretty soon, no doubt Stubble will be there to join you. So that's all to look forward to later on in the tournament. Bedhead as well. I am going to call it quits for the night. It has been good, guys. Thanks for joining. Take care, stay safe, keep your distance, and I'll see you at some point during the week, because I'm going to be streaming during the week, I can promise you that. I'll bid you good night.